This is the 5th time I filmed this video, so this time has to be the last time. Hey guys, so today's video is going to be me kind of walking through and talking about the little living room makeover that I gave to my living room just a few weeks ago. So just for a little bit of context and background, I moved in here towards the end of May, and currently when I'm filming this, it's just around the end of February, so I think it's been 9 months or so that I've lived here, and I definitely would say that this apartment is not done whatsoever, which is really stressful to say, but it's all part of the process, so it's fine. But yes, it's been a hot minute, and I am slowly chipping away at making this place a home. So when it came to the living room, that I would say is like what feels the most complete for me. In my bedroom, whole other story. But our living room has all the things that it needs. I'm kind of more at the point of making it feel more like me, because I think before I kind of did like a little makeover, everything looked nice, but you would kind of look around and you could imagine like a million different people living here. It wasn't that you walked in and you're like, oh my god, this looks so much like Toyosi, like this is such your apartment, like blah blah blah. And that kind of bothered me. I think my home was like really reflective of me, and the fact that it wasn't reflecting me and what I like and my interests kind of pissed me off. So I was like, you know what, we gotta change that. And so we did. So the two main things that I'm kind of tackling, so there definitely are some other projects that I would like to do with this apartment. I wanted to change out our rug, and then I also needed to add some art to the walls because our walls were very, very bare. So in terms of our rug, we did have a rug in here before. It was actually the rug I had in my last dorm. So I bought that senior year, so I've had it for about a year and a half, but it was disgusting. Trash. The rug that I got it from Target. Like style wise, it was fine. Honestly, like not a style I think I'd pick now, but it was something that I could live with. But I was a biohazard. I truly don't understand. It was $35. You could definitely tell that it was $35 from Target. But it just held everything that like ever came in contact with it. And I have a lot of hair. It's like all tucked into, you know, my lovely fleece because cozy day, you know. But I have a lot of hair. My roommate has a lot of hair. We shed a lot of hair. You know, we'd be eating our snacks while we were watching TV, so we got some crumbs occasionally. And the cheap $20 vacuum I bought at Amazon really couldn't, you know, get in there and clean everything out. But even when I've like properly vacuumed this rug, it just holds everything it comes in contact with. And it pissed me off so much because I could not spend another day of my life trying to vacuum this rug and make it not look like a biohazard. So I realize that I'm getting very worked up talking about this. But yeah, the rug, it needed to go. It just wasn't cute, it wasn't great quality, so that was kind of the main reason. But also our living room actually doesn't have any natural light, which is kind of a big bummer for me about this apartment. We have really beautiful windows in our bedrooms, but there's no windows within the actual like living, dining, kitchen area. And all of our things are kind of dark, so we have like gray walls, and we have, you can kind of see like darker cabinets, and we have like black trim, and there's a lot of just like darker elements to our apartment, and I'm definitely someone who kind of likes a little bit of like lighter and brighter, so I felt like the rug was a really great way to do that. So the rug we had before was kind of mainly gray and white, and I actually swapped it out with the rug that I got from Rugs USA. This video is not sponsored or anything, but I found this rug from Rugs USA. It's kind of like a natural tone with some like grayish brown like taupe marking, like tribal print. Can we say that? I guess like tribal print on it. And I really like it. I think it's something that's still pretty simple that could fit with like various different styles if my style does change over the years or as I change apartments. I really like this rug. It's a low pile, which is what I was looking for because it means that it's not going to get like hair and crumbs and dirt trapped inside of it. Our really cheap vacuum can actually vacuum over it and get it clean, which is great. So I can just, you know, do like a 2-minute vacuum and get everything off of it, which is awesome. This rug is actually an indoor-outdoor rug, which kind of intrigued me because I'm like, ooh, if she can also go outside, that means she gotta be durable. So it means she's gonna be durable inside. And so far I think that's really true. So good stuff. So the next thing was to change out the art. So before I did this, the only thing we actually had on our walls was a mirror, which we still have and I really liked. And then we also had a huge Stendig calendar, and if you don't know what that is, you've probably seen them before. They're the massive, like 4 foot by 3 calendars that are all black and white, with really big numbers, and they're just very like minimal, you know? And as much as I love them, as much as I love Massimo Vignelli and appreciate him and his work in design, doesn't really say anything about me or like about my interests. It kind of is just like, hi, big black white numbers. You like, all that says about me is that like I like Helvetica, which is true, but I'm like, I need a little bit more character in the things that I put on my walls in my home. So the first thing I actually did when I decided I wanted to do the gallery wall is I actually took a photo of the wall that I was going to put the art on, and I put it in Photoshop and mocked up what I was thinking. This was very fun. I got to do math because I made sure that all of the actual art I was putting in was like proportionate to the wall and to everything, so I could really see what it would look like. And I just kind of, you know, played around. I found art online. I found photos that I took. I did have some art myself already, so I also put that in there. It was a really great way to kind of mess around with like configurations and like what art should go where, because you start putting things up and you realize of like, oh, I don't want like 2 quotes next to each other, and like, oh, all these photos are, you know, monochrome, and then there's like really bright colors here, so it kind of lets you just play around digitally before you're like putting things in frames and like hanging things up and then being like, oh shit, that doesn't look good at all. So I did that. I kind of wrestled with that. I like got a general configuration that I really liked, and then I spent a couple weeks of just looking through different art and things that I liked. And then I went ahead and got what I didn't already have printed. So how I printed things, I did this like really cheaply, which I think is totally fine and also makes it easier to replace in the future. But I actually just got them printed at Staples, and I got it on a big engineering print. So engineering prints are like what are used for blueprints. So it's like a much thinner paper, and it's definitely not going to be like a super high quality, super high res. But you can print in color, and like I think for really clean graphics and for text, I think it actually looks really good. And some of my photos actually did turn out well. I feel like it's kind of this hit or miss depending on like how much color is in it and how big it is. Also sometimes like if the printer's running slightly low on ink, I kind of got some like banding on mine. But overall, I would highly recommend engineering prints. They're like $12 for a color sheet. And what I do is I actually just get one engineering print and I just cut them out myself, because the largest size engineering print I think is 3 foot by 4 foot. So I just put all the things I needed onto one page in Photoshop and then printed that out and then cut out all of the actual like individual photos, so I didn't have to get multiple things printed. And it's $12, like it's really affordable. So would highly recommend. Would also really recommend if you're in like a temporary situation, like you're in a dorm or a sublet, or you're just not ready to like invest in art and you want something that you can kind of mess around with and have fun with, but then, you know, just peel off and recycle for whenever you move or whatever. That's actually what I did in my dorm room, and which is how I got the idea to do it again for this. Okay, so I did that. I had all my prints. I like cut everything out, had everything laid out, and then I also had my frames. I got my frames from Walmart, and they were so cheap. Walmart is not a place I think of. I hate going to Walmart when I'm back home in Texas, and there's not Walmarts in New York, so it's not really a place I frequent. But frames are really expensive, and I was out here, I was looking for those deals, and Walmart came through, as you could probably expect, and I got 10 frames for $40. Amazing. Amazing. And they're actually nice. I really like them. They're like a really thin black frame, and the glass front actually pops out, so they're really easy to switch in art in and out. You know, you can tell that the frame is like plastic, it's not metal, but truly if you have like a whole gallery wall, no one's like inspecting your frames, especially ones as like thin and minimal as these ones are. And also it's actually great that they're plastic, because it makes them a lot lighter, which makes them a lot easier to hang up later, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay, so I had my art, I had my frames. The last step I had to do was mat them. Again, I want to add a lot of like white and more brightness, and I also think having like a really nice mat on your photo, if you don't know what that is, it's like generally the white border inside the frame that kind of like, you know, gives the art some breathing room. So I needed to mat them. The 11 by 14 frames that I bought from Walmart actually came with a mat of their own, so that was really great. I just used what came in the pack. But all the other ones did not come with mats, and I had to do that myself. that was a little bit of a process. You kind of will see what I did. So what I first did is I bought mats from Michael's, but I didn't like them because you couldn't, choose the thickness, and also they were a bit more expensive. Like one of like an 8x10 just for one frame, the mat was like $8. And I was like, no, we're not gonna do that. So then I went to Blick and I actually got some art boards, and that is what I used for the two bigger, so like for the 16x20s. And I just went ahead, it's like art boards come with like a thicker, it's not like a foam core, but it's just like a really thick board that you can cut into. And so I went and I cut out the frames. It's not the neatest work for sure. They are just a smidge thick. I can put them inside of the frames, but they are just a little thick, so you kind of have to press them in there. But that was what I did for some of them, and then I was like, this is a little bit too much work. I don't want to do this. So some of the artwork I just didn't bother to mat at all, and I think for things that had really just clean backgrounds, or for like the quotes that I put up, that was fine. But what I would probably do, in hindsight, if I was going to do this all over again, or I was going to buy more frames to hang up somewhere else, is the frames themselves actually come with a piece of cardboard, and I would actually just use that as the mat because it already has the outside dimension, so I can just easily cut through the inside, and because it's cardboard, it'll be a lot easier to cut through. So I think in hindsight, I would have just used the actual cardboard that came within the frame, cut the mat out of that. I would have like had to paint it white, but that's not hard, and then just put it all back together, if that makes any sense. Either way, mat your stuff how you prefer to, but I did a whole mix of things, and it was more time than I cared to spend. Okay, great. So, we got the art, we got the frames, we got the mats, we put them together, we got, framed art, now we gotta put it up. Super fun. So before I put it up, I actually just like laid everything out on my carpet just so I could again visually see how everything was and kind of figure out the spacing. I didn't bother to measure anything because I can't be bothered. So I just kind of put everything on like the rug and like kind of like figured out like what seemed pretty even. I'm like, okay, yeah, like this much spacing, that seems about right. And then I've taken it to the wall. Again, did not measure because why would I do that? But I did use kind of the extra piece of paper that came with all the frames and taped those to the wall so I could actually see where things were going. Because for me, the first thing I had to struggle with was how high to put it, especially because it's right by our dining table. So I don't want someone to be sitting at the dining table and leaning back and like rubbing all against my beautiful art. So I kind of did that. I kind of tinkered a little bit with the height and used just like the pieces of paper that were the same sizes as the frames to figure out where things were going. And then once I knew that, I started just putting up art. Real simple, I had my hammer, had my nails, I was, putting things up, realized that it's really hard to nail things in because, like the hook is a little lower and there's just things that make it hard. Also I don't have like a stud finder, and I'm pretty sure like the second thing I tried to nail was going straight into a stud, so it would not go into the wall, and I was like, we're not going to do that anymore because that sounds like trouble and I would like my security deposit. So I actually just hung up everything using command strips. Incredible. So again, this is a great reason why the frames are actually really cheap and made out of plastic, is that I hung them up with command strips because they're super light and I'm not scared that they're going to fall off. It's been like 2 weeks and everything is, looking beautiful over yonder beyond the frame, hanging up all beautiful on the wall. She looks great. No one's been bothered. Command strips work great, and again, if you're like, renting or in a very temporary situation, you don't have to worry about nail holes afterwards, and it also makes it really easy to kind of take things in and out of the frames as well. So yeah, then I just kind of, command stripped it up and put everything up, and I think it looks great. I love having a gallery wall. I love that I can easily change it out, again, because like half of them are engineering prints that are really cheaply printed. I don't feel guilty of like getting rid of them in like a week or getting rid of them in a month and replacing them with, a nicer print from an artist I really like, or maybe a print that I find at like a boutique or a store somewhere on like a travel or a visit or whatever. But I think it's really nice is all I have to say. It adds a lot of character, it adds some more color, it adds some more brightness to the room, and I think the most important thing for me is that it actually adds some personality, because that was really lacking for us beforehand, and now, she got a little something. She got a little something special, she has some stories to tell, which I really like. Okay, so that's kind of it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I definitely do still have projects I want to work on in our apartment in general. My bedroom needs a lot of work, Lord help her. But at least in terms of our living room, I do kind of want to hang up maybe some other art or like a tapestry, not tapestry, like a macrame or like something, just to kind of add some life to the other walls. And I also do need to figure out a coffee table situation. I'm heavily debating on doing a DIY coffee table. So if I do, you guys will most definitely see that, because I got some big dreams, I got some big plans. Just a matter of if I have the balls to kind of pull it off. So time will tell. But yeah, if you guys want to see some more like apartment stuff, if you guys want to see more like my bedroom stuff, not that type of bedroom stuff, but like decor bedroom stuff, let me know. Feel free to comment down below. I will have some more like photos and stuff on my blog, as well as links to just any other things like the apartment that might be in those photos on there as well, if you guys are curious. So make sure to check that out in the down bar as well. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.